much the best day ever. We've got a very significant blog post, and this is basically the outline for what's coming to Marvel Strike Force for the rest of the year. And I just have to applaud the level of communication, and I'm pretty hyped. There's some things I have some questions and concerns about. I mean, I don't think going to 15 is on anybody's list of fun things to do, but we've got so much major improvements across the board in so many different facets of the game. Let's just get started. And of course, it's about Dr. Doom, who's going to be the reward for Dark Dimension 4. And it's called 2020 Preview Doom Rising. And they make reference to basically, let's just call this a road ahead. They made one at the beginning of the year in response mostly to the boycott. And this is the second half. And I got to say, I'm like 99% hyped about this. Like I said, there's just a couple things that I have some questions about. And the other thing about it is it kind of gives them some flexibility because they're giving us a template of what we can expect in the next 6 months, but with no definite time lanes, and it's kind of generic information. But everything in it is largely good, except for I don't think anybody wants Gear Tier 15. So we're going to keep going down. New features, ISO 8. And I have to say, I really liked the changes that they made to ISO 8 in this most current playtest. When they did the first playtest in October 2019, it was a disaster. They drastically changed it, and then they recently redid it, and they got some feedback. And there's only a couple things I thought that needed some work on. And I just want to stress that even it's not really a progression. It is a progression system, but it's a progression system coupled with a new gameplay mechanics. And there was a really good video on Alternate Reality. I guess Pika put it out. I highly recommend that. I'll put that link in the description to check out that video on the ISO 8 if you want to know more. I think it's fantastic. Now, this is something that's of interest to me. Real-time PvP competitive mode. By now, many of you have likely participated in the Versus Battle feature where you draft a team and battle a friend alliance member, real-time PvP. I love it. Not everybody does, but I personally love it. I think what most people don't like about it is there's no rewards, and they're going to address that here. The dev team have reviewed the results and feedback about this feature, and many players have stated they like a competitive version of real-time PvP. Well, if they're going to make a competitive version of real-time PvP, they basically need to fix the side issue. Basically, there's an issue right now where depending on what side of the board you're on, the order of operations for passive effects when they trigger simultaneously is different depending on what side of the board you are on. And a good example of that is Human Torch passive, where he flips negative status effects on him into positive ones at the beginning of his turn. And let's say there's a yo-yo on the opposite team that says in the beginning of their turn, his turn, he gets offense down. So does he flip that, or does he have offense down? Does he have offense up or offense down? It depends on what side of the board you're on. It's bonkers. They need to fix that first before they even consider anything like this. We're happy to announce that production has started on real-time PvP competitive mode. There'll be actual rewards involved. Yay! This will include matchmaking system, which will jump into battle quickly and opponent relatively similar status. Matchmaking, boy, I don't think I've ever been involved with a game where I felt like the matchmaking was perfect. I wish you guys best of luck on that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be trash. Matchmaking is always bad for some reason. I don't know why developers have a hard time with matchmaking. It just seems like they always do. And, and they say they're going to have some sort of matchmaking, of course. And then lastly, they talk about the drafting mode of the game. And I have to tell you, I believe it's kind of like baseball. And I don't know if anybody, I'm sure there's people all over the world probably don't know what I'm talking about. Baseball is a pitcher's game. And if you love baseball, you love watching the way pitchers pitch. And it's very slow, right? And it's not about just hitting home runs. It's about the pitcher, right? And I kind of feel that the versus mode is about the draft. And that is when the battle is actually won and lost, is in the drafting process. And I know the first couple times that I played real-time PvP, I was like, oh, this is boring. But now that I played it more, I realized that the battle is pretty much won and lost in the draft. And that's when the fun of it is, for me, is actually in the draft. But it's time consuming. And the problem I have with it is that finding characters is kind of a tricky. And they said they're going to actually streamline that and make that a little bit better. New missions. Okay. Dark Dimension 4 is going to be coupled with Gear Tier 15 and also the launch of Dr. Doom. Now, my thoughts on this is that this is a game designed around a couple things. Artificial scarcity. It's also designed around frustration marketing, and it's also designed around surprise mechanics. It's the triad, the Illuminati of mobile games. And they're going to make Dark Dimension 3 easier to finish because they're going to make superior uniques farmable. And just think about how easy it is relatively for a new player to finish up Dark Dimension 1, Dark Dimension 2. And those were not easy the first time to get through. And pieces like ABCs were not easy to get when they came out. And so my thoughts is that Dark Dimension 4 is going to be two things: very difficult and very expensive. And that's just my thoughts. I probably could make a personal guarantee that it's going to be those two things. It's just the nature of this game. And that is also going to be a thing, is Gear Tier 15. And I don't expect it to be fun or easy or predictable. But the good news is that they're loosening up a little bit on the superior mini uniques and getting them, and that is going to make my life a lot easier. My goodness, I can't wait. And so Dr. Doom, no word on the kit, but I'm expecting him to be very, very, very strong, similar to the way how strong Ultron was when he came out. Probably going to be plug and play and good everywhere. I hope so. I mean, don't you? I hope so. I'm pretty excited about it. New story campaign. So they talk about this. There's going to have new campaign modes, and this is the main thing. As mentioned above, this will include superior gear pieces, mini unique pieces needed to progress Gear Tier 14, and they do specify that it's going to be the mini uniques, which I need. More challenge tiers, yay! We're going to have 2 additional challenge tiers. That's always good. And then they're going to add a raid difficulty selector for the Greek raids, and I think that is fantastic. I have to say that the raid difficulty selector, yes, it's kind of a lazy way of doing it, but I think it's necessary. And I feel like the U7 difficulty selector was well received by the community and it was well done. Improvements. Okay. Excited to work on new features and characters. Yes, I am fully expecting to get 3 new characters a month forever. That's kind of how the game works. Also can't ignore some of the current issues need to be addressed. Ensure the best game experience. Audio. I'm glad that they're saying they're going to fix it, but boy, audio has been a problem for as long as I can remember, specifically on iPhones. My goodness. Blitz adjustments. Now, this part of the post, I want to read this in full because I had some mixed thoughts, and it's hard to interpret it, but it sounds like their intention is that they want to make it more based on wins rather than brute force, and like being able to efficiently win is going to matter. And it also sounds like they're trying to lower the amount of blitzing and lower the amount of blitzing on just full auto. So that's my interpretation of it, but let's read it together and maybe you'll have your own interpretation of that, and you're welcome to put that in the comment section, of course. While Blitz is a great mode to flex the might of your entire roster, there's several parts that we'd like to improve. First, we're updating and flattening the reward structure to Blitz. So that part there means to me that they're probably going to extend the top 2,000 rewards out further. That's the way I interpret it. Rank rewards will have less variance in how many shards players in the top brackets will earn. Players in the top percentile brackets will earn more shards than they currently do. Okay, so they're going to flatten it out. Second, to give players more flexibility in the day, we're limiting the number of free refreshes each character can get in a 24-hour period. And I like the way that's worded, but it also kind of concerns me that they use the word free refreshes. Does that mean you'll be able to pay? You're going to be able to pay more? I'm not sure what that means. That's the one part of the sentence that kind of confuses me. But if this means less blitzing to get to be competitive, great. Third, revisiting our point calculations to significantly increase the value of winning matches and somewhat reduce the points earned for taking on extremely powerful opponents. So it sounds like winning matches is going to be more important than going hard in 8.3. We're looking for, and this is the last sentence, which means the most to me, and then, like I said, a lot of that's open up to interpretation. We're also looking for ways to reduce the overall time spent in Blitz to allow you to focus on other parts of the game. More info will come later in 2020. Cool. Jury's out on that. You're cautiously optimistic. It sounds like it's heading in the right direction. I used to love Blitz way back in the day when I used to walk uphill both ways in the snow, 10 miles when the game came out. I used to love Blitz, but it kind of the time sink kind of made me lose my love for it. But maybe this will spark my interest. We will see. Squad management. Oh boy. We understand that creating teams and squad select screen can be cumbersome. Yes! When searching for characters with specific tags, any of the quality of life improvement will be implementing the ability to sort characters in the squad select screen by the end of the year. Additional improvements. And please, can you make it so that we can... Some of the stuff in this game is just really frustrating. Why can't I just swap placement around? Like what if I want to just edit this team right here and I want to switch places with Minerva and Rocket? Under the current system, there's no easy way of doing it. I wish there was just a button right here that said edit, and then I could drag Minerva and switch places with Rocket, so that way that Star-Lord could feed the energy to Minerva. But otherwise, this would be important. The other thing too is, like, for a while now, I've been wanting to move Cyclops on the other side of Storm. This would take me like 3 minutes to select it, delete this team, move them around, create a new team. Then I have to put it back in the right place because I need them in the correct power because I'm OCD. They definitely need some improvement to squad management. Wolverine is the daily login. I like this, but they need to do something with Hulk also. In the same lines of what they're talking about doing here with Wolverine, I believe needs to be done with Hulk as well. At this point, there are a lot of players who have Wolverine at 7 stars, updating the all clear objective to identify players with Wolverine at 7 stars that they do instead of different types of reinforcements. I agree. And also, one of my biggest pet peeves is that when you unlock red stars, the game gives you a 3 red star Luke Cage. There should be no 1 and 2 or 3 red star Luke Cages in any red star orbs anywhere. That's a total scam. And it kind of comes along the same the frustration here with Wolverine. And also, I believe that they should do something like this with Hulk. Summary. There are even more features, characters, improvements on the way than I'm able to talk about just yet. So if there's something you're looking for not mentioned here, doesn't mean that it's absent from our radar. We continue to have an open line of communication with you and post regular updates to our progress. Their communication's been amazing. Thank you for playing the game. We're excited to take you in this journey together. We'll hope you're happy, healthy, and safe in 2020. And I'm a big fan of this post. I'm excited about it. What are your overall thoughts about this post? I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. I'm excited to be playing the game. I'm looking forward to what's coming out. I'm skeptical of 15. I'm skeptical of ISO 8. I'm skeptical of the Blitz changes, but we'll wait and see. Overall, I'm pretty excited about all of this. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. It's pretty good stuff overall. Let me know what you think. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.